Hi guys, I'm Travis with Martelli. What we're going to display today is our cutting system and our cutting templates. We are an ergonomic company based out of Pensacola, Florida. We all started with this ergonomic cutter here, and we moved on to everything that preaches ergonomics, even down to our templates, rulers, and also our table. Now, what we normally show with our table is how we start off, is how to do a 1-inch bias with no measure. First, we show you our ruler with our Get a Grip material on the back of it. Any downward pressure on this ruler, it doesn't slip and slide. It will move side to side, but that's by design. So what we show you is how to do a 1-inch bias with no measure. Point to point here on my 45, just point to point. Show you the 1-inch bias, because the 1 inch is here marked out in the middle of my ruler to show you I can cut through the middle of a ruler I can't see through. So all I will do is now follow this laser line down, lined up with my 45, because that's where I have my points of my 7-inch fabric. Do the same thing here, just place it down. Now, instead of cutting like this, or sitting where you are, ma'am, and cutting back across this way, since it grips my fabric, I can move it anywhere I need to. Also, the rulers will grip 12 layers of fabric just like my templates will. So, I will place this here on my right outside shoulder because that's what's more comfortable for me to cut. Place it here on this side of the one marked out for me. Cut, lift up. I'll go back on this side. I can actually cut back towards my body because of the guard on the back side of my blade. Now, when I lift up slowly like this, it creates that vacuum. That's why it looks like I failed, but that's also what allows me to do my 12 layers of fabric. When I spread it apart, there's my perfect 1-inch bias. Now, as I stated, my templates do the exact same thing. So I'll do the same thing to show you that. Any downward pressure doesn't slip and slide. So you don't have to worry about it sliding on your fabric and having to worry about replacing it, measure cut, measure cut. We will place this here in our small triangle, and now I'll just treat this like a lazy Susan. I'm just gonna cut, turn. 4 easy steps instead of 12 or 13, measure cut, marking the corner with a pen. I have 2 perfect 2.5-inch blocks. That's my seam allowance built in, so a 2-inch finish that I can actually iron and press on this mat. Now, normally you can't iron and press on your mats. Most mats are rubber-based or PVC, but what I can show you with this mat is, yes, it is double-sided for contrasting colors, so you get 2 mats in one. Also, the reason we're allowed to iron and press is this white layer right here. That is an AstroTurf-based material. That also allows me to take this mat, I can roll it up, it won't warp in the heat nor crack in the cold. It's actually going to take its shape back each and every time. Another great thing about our mat is it is a true self-healing mat. And I know a lot of mats claim to be self-healing, but this truly is. So if I take this and do a deep cut, anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes, it's going to completely heal. Because what's going to happen is that AstroTurf is going to slowly reform. Obviously, it's not going to grow new rubber, but it is a true self-healing mat. Also, another tidbit about our mat is you can measure on it. I know a lot of mats you're not supposed to measure on, but these lines are actually the same as a ruler. So you're not going to be off by 1/8 of an inch the farther you go down. Now, another thing I have to show you is my 1/2-inch strip ruler. My 1/2-inch strip ruler, we call it our volume ruler. With this ruler, I can take up to 5 yards of fabric, folded accordion style. We show you how to fold it online, whether you're by yourself, you have someone helping you, or how to get your desired lengths. So we'll place this on top of that 5 yards, as I stated, folded accordion style. We're gonna cut our salvage. Now, what's a common strip size for y'all if you're doing binding or something like that? 2 1/4? Okay, if I do 2 1/4, I'm gonna use this ruler here. If I'm doing anything with 1/2 or full inch increments, I'm gonna be using this one. So let's say we do 2 1/2. If I'm doing 2 1/2, this is my 2-inch marked here. This is my 1/2. This is going to be my 2 1/2. The rest of these are 1/2-inch increments as well. So I will place this on top of that 5 yards, cut my salvage, go 2-inch, 2 1/2, cut. 1 2 2 1/2, cut. 1 2 2 1/2, cut. 1 2 2 1/2, cut. I can do 4 2 1/2-inch strips through 5 yards of fabric without moving this ruler one time. And if I lift up slowly like this, all I'm going to do, my fabric's going to stay in place. I will come back across, find a line as a vantage point, place it down, straighten back up my fabric since it grips, and now I can cut 2 1/2-inch squares, so that same 5 yards of fabric. You're getting volume without sacrificing accuracy each and every time. Now, the next thing I have to show y'all is my workstation, which is my table. My table is on complete electronic actuators. It'll raise up to 42 inches, it'll go down to 28.5. The table itself is made out of HDPE, which stands for high density polyethylene. Normal plastic has about 21% air injected into it. This has less than 7. Also, the legs, they are made out of extruded aircraft aluminum. So that's going to make it to where it will not rust on you. Also, that's going to make the table very light. The table only weighs about 100 pounds, will hold and support 750 pounds. Now, I don't know if you have that much fabric, but my aunt has a library of fabric she swears she's going to use, and my uncle just laughs because he knows it's a lie. So, also, we allowed the table to tilt. So now I'm going to rotate my wheels here into the resting position. I have locks on these back wheel casters that are towards me, or the front, however you want to call it. So, we're going to tilt the table like so. Now, what that's going to allow me to do is, instead of having my normal cutting position, which my proper height would be about right here, I'm still leaning across once I get to the end there. And y'all know better than I do, repetitive cuts after a while, you're gonna hit your critical points of your neck, back, and shoulder. Now, I will place this here. When I sit down, I'm in perfect posture, and now I can cover a further distance because I've simply changed my angle. I'm cutting more ergonomically as well because, as I stated, I'm in perfect posture. Also, with my ergonomic cutter, I can stay seated and still get through all my layers and not have to worry about standing up with the pizza style cutters and getting that extra pressure. So I can stay seated and still get through all my layers. Also, we can tilt the table this way. Now, has anybody ever heard of putting your sewing machine on blocks or wedges? Okay, so the reason we do that is so you're not staring straight down. For those of you unfamiliar with the blocks or wedges, all it does is basically it looks like door stops that sets your machine at an angle. So I'm gonna tilt this back down, and notice how nothing's slipping sliding off my table besides my fussy cut window there because of that Get a Grip material. So what we have here is my sewing machine pad. My sewing machine pad is the same exact material that's on the bottom of my templates, and also we're just gonna place it here and it's just like it's on those blocks or wedges. So I don't have to stare straight down as I sew, putting that pressure in my neck. I can sit down, it's gonna bring my chin up, so now I'm sewing ergonomically as well. I can see the front and back side of my needle, so my start and my finish. Also, like I said, this is gonna eliminate 90% of the vibrations out of your sewing machine. Also, what another lady showed me, she said she kicks it to the side, sits over like this. Now she has her quilt folded nicely accordion style here, so it's not all over her shoulder or in her lap. Also, we make one of these for your foot pedal, so you're not chasing your foot pedal. And that one looks like this right here. And that'll work on carpet, hardwood floor, tile, or laminate. Now, another thing we have, raise this back up. We do have 3 different size tables. This is our advantage. Our advantage is our most popular table. Reason being is it's a 5-foot table. Also, so you have this extra workspace, and it's 31 inches in width. Your common doorways are 32 inches in width. So if this is fully built in your home, you can lower it down to that 28.5 and move it room to room.